Anita, how's your mental health?
Questionable at all times. You know this.
Yeah, how's the mental health of your children?
Also a little bit tricky. Can I tell you my experience in trying to find therapists for myself and my kids, Mel?
Yes, please.
Okay, this is how it goes. You ask around your friends and your family for a referral for somebody who's nearby. You finally find somebody who sounds like they might work for your family. You give them a call and you find out that A, they're not accepting new patients, or B, they have a huge wait list. So you start over again and you ask people if they know anybody who would be a good therapist and a good fit. Finally, you find one, you go and you meet with them, and you figure out that you don't actually like them that much. But it's been so much work to find somebody who you can go to in your area that you're kind of stuck with them. Well, do you have any ideas for how to get around this?
I do because guess what? I've actually had some therapists that I have found on my own, which involves what you're saying. Sometimes I remember one time I was like 3 hours in the bathtub on my phone looking
Yeah.
through websites. I was such a prune at the end. But I have also had the experience with working with BetterHelp. And it was like, I don't want to say too good to be true, but because it is true, but it's like amazing because I was matched with my therapist within 24 hours.
And you didn't have to go through all of that other ridiculous process of trying to find somebody. And here's the cool thing too, is if that person didn't work out for you, you can just switch and say, and it's not like you're committing to another years long search for somebody who you're going to jive with.
It's true. And I lucked out, or maybe just BetterHelp is really good at matching people together because I never had to change my therapist. I loved her. Perfect fit for me. And I know that some of our friends have used BetterHelp and they've had to change therapists, and boom, same day, you can change.
Easy peasy.
You can ghost your therapist. Get a new one.
I love this idea. BetterHelp is one of our sponsors. If you use our promo code trybetterhelp.com/WWDN, you get 10% off your first month. And we totally recommend it.
Yes, get some therapy. That's trybetterhelp.com/WWDN.
Mel,
Anita,
what are we talking about on this
woo,
day?
we are talking about scammers.
Boo.
Oh,
Scammers. It's funny that you wanted to talk about that today because I got two scammers trying to follow my Instagram today.
tell us.
So I check out every single person who follows my Instagram page because I put a lot of information out on Instagram. And so I don't particularly want people who I don't trust or actually think are real humans to follow me. So I look at their profile, and usually it's pretty easy to see if I want them to follow me or not. But today I got this friend named, I take screenshots of him because I think they're funny, Akbar. You probably can't see it. And he enjoy meeting real people.
I mean, it's a
Akbar
worthy
does.
cause. Enjoy meeting real people.
Yes, I enjoy meeting real people. And then I got Peterson Joseph, kiss, kiss, heart, 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 heart. And my fave color is blue.
Did he send you that message?
No, that's just when I clicked on his profile, that's what came up. And then I go, blocked. I have a very low threshold for the block button.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah.
So we hear some interesting stories about people scamming others, especially scamming widows.
It's so irritating, and it makes you feel like those people belong in the ninth circle of hell. Don't you think?
There's a special place, special
Yes.
scamming place for them to go where they
Yeah.
get denied every time. I think we're getting a little bit better as a society with technology kind of sorting through some of the scammers. So, probably most of the people that are on the internet, listening to us on the internet, are aware of a lot of the things just because it
Yeah.
kind of goes with the technology territory. But, everybody's worried about their grandma getting a call that says, "Hey, don't hang up.
It's your grandson.
Yeah, I need $8 million.
And
I
they're
live
like,
in Nigeria right now, but I'm stuck and I'm trying to get home."
mm-hmm.
Okay, that's a scam. if you were wondering. But there are all sorts of scams. Social
There really are.
Security.
Mm-hmm.
We have a few widow friends who have had their dead spouse's picture taken and used on dating profiles. We
Yes.
know more than one person that this has happened to.
So, do you think that the solution to this is to not be like good looking because then people won't want to steal your profile pic? Or do you think there's another solution?
I think the solution is education
Oh,
and to not trust anybody on the internet.
I know it's so sad. So, my friend the other day was telling me about an acquaintance that she has that was talking to her about a new relationship that she had. And the new relationship had started via Facebook, I think. And she got on there and searched this person, and this person had like 10 profiles. And so my friend was like, red light, red light, red light. But the friend, the person who was in that relationship, was so happy. And no, I'm recording.
Didn't you put your sign up?
They did not heed the sign. Get out of my bedroom. That was a scammer. The scammer came into my home and unlocked my bedroom.
The scammer's a 10-year-old.
He's 11 now.
Oh.
Oh, and did you hear it? The
Why did you get them that toy?
I didn't. And now somebody's crying. So my friend was explaining to me that an acquaintance of hers had contacted the friend and said that she was in this new relationship and she was so happy and things weren't working out. And then finally they were working out. And so my friend got on Facebook and checked out this guy, and he has like 10 profiles. And so my friend is like, something's not right. It's not normal to have 10 profiles. But this girl is so happy that she's finally in this loving relationship, and they don't know each other well. And so she was asking, like, should I tell her? Should I bring it up? Like, what's my responsibility? She was already saying that everybody was being really like down on her, and she did not appreciate that people didn't trust her to make her own decisions and things like that. And I was like, I don't know what the answer is in that, because obviously it is not real, but how much of it is your responsibility and how much is her responsibility to figure it out?
If somebody has multiple profiles and there are things like that, yeah, big red flag, request to meet them in person, maybe with another friend, or FaceTime them or Zoom, and don't give out any private information. Just don't.
Seriously, the sad thing is that the people who do this, if they get their foot in the door, some of them are very skilled at making you feel like they're a real person and that they care about you and that they are, want to be in a relationship with you. And then none of it's real. But I know of widows who are intelligent, who have fallen for scammers. It's heartbreaking.
It's hard. And there are unfortunately people that, like you said, are very skilled in manipulation. They're really good at reading people, they're really good at mirroring, they're really good at telling where your weaknesses are and what might motivate you, and they know what to say. I have so many documentaries I could refer everybody to watch. One of them is called Catfish.
Yeah, so that's why I just have like I'm not talking to you on the internet policy, basically. I haven't had a lot of people who I suspect are real people want to talk to me, but I'm just not really, it's not on a dating site. I haven't put my profile out there for the purpose of dating, right? So if they just cold contact me, I'm not even going to engage with that.
Yeah, so just be careful. Now, for example, our Widow Wives Club, we have a private Facebook group, but we require kind of a rigorous set of hoops to jump through, and there's good reason for that. But even still, please be careful. So if you are in our club and you have gone through those hoops,
Yeah.
there are always people that can get around things. So just really protect yourself and be wary of sharing information unless you feel like you really know the person. And maybe sometimes your senses are not even going to be right. So
Yeah.
having a friend kind of like double check for you or help you is going to be really, really helpful.
Can you tell me why scammers pick the names that they pick?
Like, what are some of the names?
Like, I feel like they always choose two first name. They're like, my name is
John
Benjamin
Johnson.
Benjamin Daniel. And I'm like, that is two first names. Try again. And have you noticed that many of them are working on an offshore drilling site?
Lots of them.
Yeah. And they have a son or a daughter, and they also lost their wife. Have you ever noticed that?
Yeah, like a Disney movie, kind of.
Yeah.
I get emails all the time. This is weird for piano lessons, and they're always worded the same way. And it's something like, my son Samuel has moved from here to here and wants to pay you up front for 6 months of piano lessons. And it's written like
Just a little
just
off.
a little off, and you're like, this is not real. And they never mention your name, or there are some things that seem kind of specific and some things that are very vague.
Hmm.
And they want to know your rates. It seems at first that it's innocent because they're just asking what a normal person would for piano lessons, like your rates, how long is the length of lesson, this and that, but they never give you a referral from somebody else or mention anyone else's
Yeah.
name. And they're always scams. Usually what they try to do is get your information and like hook up with a bank account so they can wire you money, but then really
Hmm.
they've figured out how to get into your bank account. So that happens all over. It doesn't have to be piano lessons. It can be anything.
We were talking about this the other day, my friend and I, about like on Craigslist or like the classified websites, how if you sell something every single time somebody's like, I would like to pay you $200 extra and have my agent pick up the product and like all sorts of weird things. And I'm always like, who thought of this scam? Because my brain wouldn't even think, okay, I have this great idea. I'll pay them more and they'll go cash it at the bank and then it will be a fraudulent check and they'll be on the hook for the money or whatever. It's
Yeah,
just
it's super
crazy.
weird. So, like we were talking about earlier with some of our friends whose husbands' pictures were stolen and used in dating profiles, those people have gotten contacted by multiple people because they, like, for example, one of our friends is the widow of an officer in the military.
Oh,
And so he has this picture, and it's very legitimate because it is and it was, but he is not alive. And these
yeah.
people are using his name and his picture to set up a dating profile and then try and scam people. So
Yeah. Mel, what are some ways that you identify scammers?
bad grammar,
Bad grammar. Very good. What else?
vague, vague communication style.
Hmm. I always look for their number of followers versus the number of people they follow. So, like, if they have 5 followers and then they have 3,000 people that they follow, blocked,
The
done.
word specifically, you're talking about
In
Instagram scammers,
Instagram
not
or
just in general.
Facebook.
Yeah, so there's social media scammers and then there's like in-person scammers and phone
Yeah.
scammers.
Or email
Yeah,
scammers.
I do the same thing with Instagram. Most of the scammer accounts, they don't have any people that are following them, and then they followed a ton of people and you can't find any information about them. Just don't be their friend.
We just want all of our fellow widows to be careful and to not fall into any scamming traps
Don't
because
give your money to anyone.
for any reason at all.
In the before times when people would actually answer the phone,
Hmm.
some people still answer the phone. And sometimes the number will look like it's legitimate. Luckily, I think phones now are saying scam likely, and so it's kind of telling you
Yeah.
that. But people are experts at cloning accounts. And so they'll clone
Spoofing.
they try to clone like Apple, and they try to clone Netflix, all these companies that people normally pay maybe monthly recurring payments to. They try to copy the exact font, and they'll say things like, you need to contact us with your social security information, like all the private information, in order to get access to your account so we can then tell you what the problem is.
Yeah.
And anything that you are worried about, you can Google it, and people will already have forums on what
Yeah.
scams and what's not. So if you're curious, go ahead and do that, and that should save you some scammer headache.
And
But
some of those emails look really, really legitimate. But I almost fell for something like that once. My grandpa's computer wasn't working and it was like, you need to install this program. And I was like, okay. And so I went and I clicked on it. And the only reason that I was like, was that the email or the email address to reply to was in Russia. I was like, never mind. This is not legitimate. But
yeah, when you get
and
an email, you can check who it was sent from.
mhm.
And it's usually a bunch of gobbledygook at gobbledygook. So it's never like
Yeah,
John
Apple.
at apple.com.
Yeah.
And also, Apple and all those reputable companies, they will never send you an email like that, ever. Your bank will never send you an email like that.
To say,
So,
what is your account number and what is your PIN number and how much money do you have? My name's Steve.
can you just take a
Daniel.
picture of the front and the back of your credit card and then send it to me because our computer crashed and we lost all the files. Don't believe it.
But some of these are very skilled too. I mean, think about how, remember in the United States, how the Democratic National Party got hacked because somebody opened an email and it let them in and then like it was over. They had all the access to all the files. It's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are always going to be preying on others. And with our widow friends, we are especially vulnerable because we're sad, because death makes you sad. And also,
Yeah.
dead people have Social Security, at least in the United States. So just be careful. Have a financial advisor you trust, have a bank that you trust, contact actual people at the bank if you're ever
Yeah.
questioning whether or not something is real.
And I love what you said about having a friend or two or somebody that you can ask about their gut feeling, because sometimes I think that we get excited about the prospect of a relationship or finding a connection again. And so we might not listen to our instincts about that. And maybe a friend or a trusted, relative or somebody who might be able to think more clear-headedly about that can say, no, you should not send that person $2,000 who you have never met, even though you feel like you know each other so well and you were going to meet, but then it fell through and all of that kind of stuff. They can see more clearly than maybe you can.
Just get used to recognizing red flags and then make a jacket out of it.
I belong to a widows lazy scammers Facebook group where people post the requests or the follows from people who are obviously scammers. I mean, I've had some amazing ones like the British royal family and General David Petraeus, who's like a 4-star general.
My,
No.
my friend got a Josh Groban in quotes telling her
No.
she was beautiful. And guess how many followers he had on Instagram?
13.
I was seriously going to say 13 because it was
No.
13. That
Maybe
was
it's
weird.
because I am Josh Groban.
Oh, it was you all along. I see.
I have no energy to be a scammer. I'm just using all my energy to be a widow. Another thing that I find very common is that whenever you post on Instagram and you use a hashtag that has widow or young widow or widows of Instagram, a couple days after that or the day after that, that's when you start getting requests from people who have not great intentions. Have you ever
Serious?
noticed that? Mm-hmm.
No.
And if you comment on sites that are associated with widows, then those people will follow you from there. It's the same way we find people, is like we're trying to find widows, and that's how you do it. But they find us too.
Here's another thing that I've noticed lately. We also have a YouTube account, which this video is on, also, in addition to just the podcast and our Instagram TV account. And I have a music YouTube account. I have another music YouTube account for my relaxation music. And I have our widow YouTube account that I run. I only have gotten the scammer ones on the widow YouTube
Mm-hmm.
account. And it's like in the comments, and it's always something weird where it has a timestamp like 0.23 and then some letters with a period. If you click on that, it'll go into your computer and like take over your information. Don't even click on it. If you see something like that with a timestamp and weird letters, just delete it as soon as you can. Or if you're on someone else's account and you see it, don't click it to see what it is. Just don't.
I feel frightened now. It feels like everybody's out to get us.
They are, but also here's the thing. Like technology brings about so much good, right?
Yeah.
It also brings about the same amount of bad. So
I know it's like the way that we connect with others, which is so helpful, is the same way that scammers try and find their way into your heart and into your wallets. So
don't let them do it.
if you guys have had any experiences with scammers, either not falling for it or even falling for it, let us know. Comment below. And if you have any tips for avoiding scams or seeing them and trying to avoid them, also comment below.
Yes, we want to hear. Let's help our fellow widows out. And if you're a scammer, boo.
Don't comment.
Don't be a jerk.
Yeah. I'm Anita.
I'm Mel.
We're two young widows just trying to avoid the scammers at every turn. And we're trying to figure out, widow,
We
do
now. Scammer's gonna scam. Don't fall for it. This is my favorite thing to discuss with you.
Tell me, what is it?
One of my favorite things. I do enjoy tacos and cheese and dogs. This is about how you cannot pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars for a phone plan, especially when you're a widow, your person is dead, you might have kids, you might need another option, and you just want your phone to work, you want unlimited texting and service, and you want it to be like $25 a month.
It blows my mind that they have plans that start at $15 a month. That is so cheap. And the cool thing is it uses other 5G networks, and so you don't have to pay extra for that, and you still get great service.
Yep, Anita and I have traveled all over, and I have used my phone. So I highly recommend it. And my mom's even on it. When my dad died, we put his phone down to the cheapest plan, which is $15 a month. And I think my mom's on the $20 a month plan, and it's so worth it. It's so much cheaper than what we were all paying before. So I highly recommend it if you're on a budget or not. Who cares? Ryan Reynolds is in charge of the company, and they send you free stickers with Ryan Reynolds temporary tattoos. It's kind of the best. So if somebody wants to sign up, what can they do, Anita?
Go to trymintmobile.com/WWDN. Seriously, you guys, such a great idea. Save yourself some money.
And if you're worried about losing data or having any changes with your phone, not going to happen. They walk you through it. Everything's fine. It's the easiest process of all time. Again, that's
trymintmobile.com/WWDN.